Hello everyone, and here we are again with another tutorial. Today I'm gonna take a look at how I make remixes and how to add a bit of spice to your instruments on your own songs. I do really recommend to check out the first tutorial I made about Jummbus, also making a few songs before doing this one, of watching this one. So basically the first thing you have to know about instrumentation is what instruments should I pick. Personally, I recommend chips. There are also a lot of other samples that would work. Here are some on the screen right now that I recommend and I also use in my own songs. But the first major rookie mistake used in Jummbus is using the pianos. That's using the pianos. The first step is to just click on the type of instrument. But first we're gonna get rid of this piano because it's ugly, as you just heard. And we're just gonna take a look at the retro presence, and we're going to Game Boy builds. So you have a chip. What that means is that you can load a preset, or you can draw with it yourself. But as you see by some other instruments, you can also like the waves, you can pick them here instead. But if you have, let's go back to the ugly piano, you don't have any here. Let's try square. It sounds a lot different than, for example, rounded. These are like the shape of the sound waves. So basically, load presents are just smaller instruments inside an instrument. Let's just stay with square for now, and we're going to go through all settings and I'm gonna explain you what they all mean. For the settings, you have both simple or advanced. What I recommend is just leaving it on what it's standing. As you see, if I toggle to simple, then toggle to advanced, it changes. But personally, I think advanced is slightly easier to understand than simple. The equal filter is just, it changes how muted the sound is, and like the temperature, so warmer sounds, and you can make colder sounds. For example, if I make the area of this gray lower, and most specifically on this side, it changes the temperature to be a bit warmer. If I do the opposite, I go back, Ctrl Z, and we're gonna put it a bit higher, it sounds a bit sharper. And what you do have to keep in mind is that the smaller the area is, also the quieter the instrument is. So you can change the volume right here, and fade is just how long do you want the instrument to continue. The dotted lines right here, that are the notes. So the full note is now placed right here. It starts here, it ends here. If I change this to be more on the left, it will have like a small fade out like this, but then in the program, so you don't have to put it manually in every single time. You can also do the opposite, that the fade out is on the other side of the note. What this means is that you can actually make it seem like two notes transition into each other a bit more. So normally you can't like put a note here and then put a note here and want to overlap those two. You would have to do something like this. But if you do this, it sounds a bit smoother in the transition. You also have a fade in, which speaks for itself, I think. It's just the same, but on the other side. And you can kind of make like Minecrafty instruments. The unison is very weird, because I don't really understand it. These are just small effects that you can put on your instrument. I don't use them as often. I do use octave a lot, but instead of making it an octave, I can also just go up and place the notes right here. It's the exact same thing. The rest is weird and I don't really use them a lot. I do see people use them as like background noise. So for example, I'm pressing Q to add a channel. Then I'm going to change it, for example, to a rounded noise, and I'm going to do what's the fun one, hum. If I place it one soft, it can give an effect to your music. But a mistake that I made while making the inside OST is using them way too much. Only use them if you're confident enough, except octave, which just makes your life easier. Then for the effects. Effects are just simple things like for example echo, chorus, reverb, and all that kind of stuff. Basically we're going to first take a look at chorus, echo and reverb. Chorus makes it feel like the instrument is playing itself multiple times. It feels like the instrument is bigger. It feels just larger, especially when you make it like a rounded wave. A thing that people do when they don't know that chorus exists is add too much reverb. Reverb, I think you all know what reverb is. I don't think I have to explain that. For echo, you want to always have the echo delay on one beat, because otherwise it will mess up with the tempo. You can experiment with like 2 beats or 1.5, but it's kind of hard to get it right. I do recommend to always have it on, like for example now I have it on 0.9 and it will sound off with the rhythm. It just repeats the instrument less loud, and the higher the echo, the more repeats, and the louder the repeats. Now we're gonna take a look at transition type and vibrato. We'll start with vibrato. Technically works what I'm doing right here. For example, this is a vibrato note. It sounds very off, but it's technically a vibrato note. You have different types. I recommend delayed. It transitions the vibrato to be more at the end than at the beginning, so it sounds like a voice, which also has a delayed vibrato. If you combine this with the fade, you'll have a nice the fade in. You'll have a nice Minecraft instrument. It's a cool Minecraft instrument. Light, heavy and shaky don't have that transition, that fade in, so you can obviously use them, but they'll sound a bit different, since the impact also has vibrato, which sounds a bit weird. Then we're going on to transition, which I'm going to use the vibrato for. We're going to begin with continue. Continue, you heard, if the normal one just stops right here. The vibrato goes more and more and more, and then it stops and then goes more and more and more. With continue, it will go more and more and go even more here. So it's like the note is just one long note, but on different frequencies. So it continues. For slide, it is basically a continue. The exception is that it uses this. I don't use it a lot anymore, but I used to, and it does work on most instruments. I just find continue a bit cleaner nowadays. Interrupt does I don't really know what it does, honestly, but it's similar to continue. Like it ignores the initial punch of like this note right here. Then we're going to take a look at the detune and the pitch shift, where we're immediately going to ignore the detune. Normally you would just press minus to make it go down and press plus to make it go up, but in the next step you can't really do that. I'm pressing Q right now, which opens up simultaneous instruments per channel. What this does is add a plus here. Very important, do not click the bottom checkbox, it will make you very confused. Okay, so it seems like we have ran into an issue. My mic stopped recording halfway through the tutorial, or at least a little at the end. So I was talking about the pitch shift and the using the simultaneous instruments per channel. If you press this plus, it will give you a second instrument you could work with. Game Boy Pulse 1/4, Game Boy Pulse 1/8. They will both simultaneously play. As you can hear, if I put this on 0, it sounds different. If you then add pitch shift, let's say to this one, and you make it higher, it will just put this instrument on this note and this note instead of this note and this note. So it just makes it kind of like an octave, but with different instruments. And you can also do that the other way around. It's now lower. Last step is to make remixes. Remixes really help me to understand instruments and get a feel for instruments. To Google something, for example, Dark World MIDI. Just grab the first link. Most of the time it's a correct link. Don't be too obscure. And we're going to download it. If you then go back to Jummbus, you can click on File, click on Import Song, choose File, just click on the Dark World MIDI, and you'll have a working MIDI. Now I know you all, and you will either not know what MIDI to pick, or you don't know, you will keep the instruments completely the same and change it only a little bit. So that's why I made a custom MIDI. The link of this song is in the description, so you can go open it now and change the instruments. All of the instruments are the dubstep EOI. Except the drums, which are the worst drums I could make. So yeah, you can go work on that. You need to prepare for this, so go listen to go listen to a remix, go listen to the original, and maybe a few other remixes of this, and get inspired. Just get some ideas of what instruments could sound like. In the meanwhile, I also made a remix, and I still have the compilation of it without audio, so go enjoy it. Well, that's it for today's video. Go ahead and make those remixes. Remember that if you want to share this remix, the best way to share it is via export song and via a MP3 or WAV, or you can always go to File and shorten song URL and in this URL all the information of your song will be. So if I paste it in a new tab, it will open the remix. I hope you have fun, I hope you learned a bit, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!